Ta-da! Dun, 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 dun. Welcome, everyone. This is Austin. It's Saturday morning. It's technical fun time. This is my third attempt to do this video. I will not be stopped. I will persist until I succeed to get this message to your ears. You need to hear this. I had some issues using the technology, and now I'm here. I am, and I'm fired up because I want to give you a message today that is relevant. I do my best to create things that are going to be relevant to you. And so we had an issue with the tech, but now we're here. And what we're going to talk about today is one powerful tip to help you grow. One powerful tip to help you grow the most. How about that? One powerful tip to help you grow the most. So one of the things that's in Flashpoint is called assessment. Assessment. I know you've heard that word. You may have heard it in your job. You've heard it somewhere. It's called assessment. And assessment is a way for us to look and see how we're doing. So for example, right now, you might want to assess how you're doing. Right in this moment, you can ask yourself, how do you feel right now? How do you feel in this moment? And that question tells you how you feel. And when you put light on how you feel, now you give yourself the focus and the invitation to feel better. But when you're doing that, you're not going through that process. But what's happening at a subconscious level, once you dial into how you feel, you are actually inviting yourself to feel better. I know that may not seem like that, but it's the truth. Now, let me talk a little bit more about this. Let me give you a story. So one thing that helped me grow the most was feedback. Getting feedback from someone else is one of the most powerful things you can do. And I wrote a couple things down I'm going to share with you today. And I also am going to share with you a powerful quote during tough times. So you're going to want to hang in there for this. And I'm just going to share this on my personal page as well. Anyway, forget the technology. Let's get into this. So your feedback. Now, when I was at Toastmasters, that's when I started this journey. One of the most powerful things that Toastmasters does is gives you feedback. When you go in and you speak, they give you feedback on public speaking. But what about our lives? You know, what about our most important things? How do we measure how we're doing toward our highest aspirations? And the way we do that is through community. It's through friendships, colleagues, business partnerships. But we must reach out for it. I just went through a situation myself where there was some feedback that I needed to hear so I can better serve you. And that feedback, I want you to run toward that feedback. Because here's what I wrote down. The pain of feedback is better than the misery of never trying. The pain of feedback is better than the misery of never trying. Because it's easy to stay in our comfort zone. It's easy to sit back. And let me honor you today. How's everyone doing? Hello, Tony Marie, Jenna, Angela, Tisa. How are you? We just asked that question. Jenna's saying unmotivated. Well, let's change that right now. And the thing is, if you're sitting down, stand up, because that's an instant way to feel better right now. If you stand up and you move, it's emotional elevation. We must dial into how we feel. And the one thing that is, I believe, has helped me, and I think it can help you, is give yourself the permission to feel at a deep level. Most people don't give themselves that permission. And so one of the things that I work on is to be able to feel at a deep level without letting the emotion overtake me. Because here's the other thing, we're talking about feedback. Your emotions are feedback. You know, your emotions are not this thing that are just, they come in and they take you over, which they can. but our emotions are actually feedback. So if we listen to those emotions, we can then invite ourselves to step out of them and feel better, because you're wired to feel all that life can give you. You're wired to feel all of it. Your DNA, your nervous system is wired in for that feedback. But this is an invitation to take that feedback, to feel it and step over it, and then there's beautiful things there. And so when you go to get feedback or you go into assessment is a major component of Flashpoint. It's the invitation to assess that causes improvement. And so let me dial this in here. Let me dial in. Feedback that we get from somebody may be a little painful in the moment. So when someone gives us feedback, there's a discomfort in that. I don't want to hear that because it's pointing out things that I'm not good at. But just like our emotions, when the emotion comes in and we don't like the feeling of the emotion, we still can embrace it. And when we can embrace it and feel it, we can let it go quicker and we can feel better quicker. It's the same thing with feedback. If somebody says you could have done this better, and that's some of the things that I get feedback from. I just did a presentation and I got feedback on that presentation, feedback that I needed to hear. And one of the things that I work really hard to do is run toward feedback. Run toward it. It doesn't matter. Even as I'm doing this video, hey, I don't like your hair. Why do you always wear a hat? Your energy's too high. Your energy's too low. Whatever the feedback is, because that feedback helps me get better and helps me deliver a message that's going to move you. Because if I'm doing this and I'm in this space, I'm here to deliver a message that moves you. Okay? It's not, if it doesn't move you, why are you going to listen? It doesn't matter. You can just go watch a Netflix show, right? But this is about growth, and growth happens from feedback. When we get feedback, we feel the emotion of it, we feel the pinch of it, and then we move forward and we can tweak and make things better. And here, let me give you this. Imagine your stock investments if you didn't know what the score was. Imagine if you didn't know what was going on with the stock market. How would you know how you're doing? Imagine if you went to a hockey game or a basketball game and there was no nets and there was no score. It would be completely like a bunch of people running around. But think about your own personal growth. Where are you in your own personal growth? If you're not measuring that, it's like investing in a stock which you're not going to know the value of. It's like going to a hockey game with no goals. We need to know where we are on our growth path. Yes, sometimes it can hurt. Thank you, Jenna. Sometimes it can hurt, but it is a good tool to grow. Here's another good thing for you. For my musicians out there, are you a musician? Have you ever heard a really good song? Right? Think of a really good song. Type it in. What's a really good song that you like? What's a song that you like? I'm trying to think of a song here. Born to be wild, right? Think of a song that you like. And here's what I want to share with you. A song doesn't get better until more ears hear it. I just made this up. A song doesn't get better until more ears hear it. A speech doesn't get better until more ears hear it. A message doesn't get better until more ears hear it. You don't get better until more people see you, until you can connect with other human beings. Your ability to grow is your ability to connect with other human beings and then get the reflection back, get the feedback back that makes all the difference. Van Halen, what song from Van Halen? Give me a song. Pretty woman walking down the street. That's Roy Orbison, right? Here's what I want to share with you. A musician, they send out what's called demos. So a musician that's trying to get a record deal, they're trying to land a contract, they send out a demo. It's a short version of a song. They don't give the full album. It's a clip. It's a momentary clip. They send the demo out. And once the demo goes out, the record label goes, we like this, but we didn't like that. Do more of that and less of this. And you see that feedback that the record label gives them allows them to go back and make it better. So that's what the bottom line is. And that's why we need feedback. So in the middle of this COVID stuff, if we're not getting feedback right now, we're not growing. And as much as I'm out here in front of you, and as much as I'm doing these videos, we need feedback. We need feedback. We need feedback. And so what we're doing is community. We're building a community. And by the way, I got a powerful quote for you that's really good during tough times, especially now. And I'll tell you what, we need to get the feedback. We need to feel. We need to feel. All right, so here, I got some good stuff for you right now. I want you to get feedback today. And I want you to grow. I want you to grow. I want you to take this tough time, and I want you to turn it into something powerful. I want you to turn it into clean burning fuel. I want you to take the feedback and turn it into fuel that moves you forward. One of the many things that I respect and love about you is your openness to feedback. Listen, I'm not going to tell you feedback doesn't pinch, but I want it because it's going to help me grow. It's going to help me grow. Can you hear that music? All right, I'm going to put another song on here for you, and I got a quote for you. That's going to fire you up, make you feel good. I can't get the volume up on this music, but okay, here's the quote. Let me wrap up. I appreciate your time today. Here's the quote. You ready? We must accept finite disappointment. We must accept finite disappointment, but we never lose infinite hope. We never lose infinite hope. We accept finite disappointment. Let me translate it to today's message. We accept feedback. We accept feedback so we can turn it into something more powerful. And this quote was said by Martin Luther King. We accept finite disappointment, but we must never lose infinite hope. We must never lose infinite hope. And I'll tell you what, and think about feedback, right? And think about this message. Take this, go beyond hope. Go beyond hope and go into faith. Take this message and go into faith. All right, so we got, this is turning into a musical sequence here, but that's okay. Listen, it's about getting the feedback, it's about feeling the emotions, and it's about moving forward. So we're going to close out on this beautiful message and this song here. Don't stop believing. Get the feedback, get what you need so you can move forward. I'm so glad you joined me today. God bless you. I love you. Make it an outstanding day, regardless of what's going on. Bye for now.